by the level of entrepreneurship and all of the people that I've seen here.
Yeah, I also heard you were at your booth all day and you were meeting a lot of people. Fabulous.
I mean, it was incredible to see how much of the world is powered in general by India and also over here in Chandigarh. I met people powering the healthcare systems in the US, people who are running all of the municipalities in the US, and all of that software is getting built here, and there was so much opportunity. It was incredibly cool to see.
Excellent. So, if you've not read today's newspaper and it talks about Varun, I'll ask you, Varun, to maybe introduce yourself and your business and how you ended up starting the company.
Sure. So, I started off as an engineer, and me and my co-founder were both really passionate about building software for SMB. The nice thing about building for small businesses is they mostly invest local, they hire local, and they really help grow the local ecosystems and economies that they're in. And in our current version of HighLevel, the plan was how do we help all of these businesses grow? And we built all of the tools, everything from sales and marketing, everything from a website builder, funnel builder, blogs, all of the software that's required to grow a business. And the big change was we offered it at a flat price because most software today is incredibly expensive and it's seat-based, it's user-based, it's contact-based, and we just made it flat price. So that is the platform.
So how did you decide on this product? What was that journey like?
So we did not start with this product. The first product we started with was back in 2016. We started with a product called Invoice Sherpa, which was invoice receivables for small businesses. And then we built Invoice Ready, which was an invoicing solution for small businesses. Then we built Service Pro Max for home service businesses. We built Prosper MT for doctors. And all of those failed. None of those worked, none of those got any customers. It was just us building year after year. And through that journey, we learned a lot of good lessons on why each of those products didn't work and what the challenges with distribution were. And it's a roll-up of all of that that led to this. But the big lesson for us through that period is success is determined by how long you give yourself to fail. If you give yourself 1 year to fail, you will most likely fail. If you give yourself 5 years to fail, you will most likely succeed. So I think just being able to persistently keep trying really led to the success.
So you think finding that right idea to build a business is serendipity and actually hanging in there?
Yeah, I mean, our first idea was let's build an invoicing app, and if we can make $20,000 a month, we can each take $10,000 and we don't have to work for anyone else. That was it, that was the idea. And from where we started to where we are is completely different. In a lot of ways, we believe that the market shapes the idea, your customers shape the idea. What's more important is to get started and to listen to feedback.
So then how did you end up with HighLevel? Why did you think this was the right product for you?
So our customers kept telling us, so all through while we were building all of the other software, we were trying to solve challenges that we thought existed in those businesses. We were solving operational challenges, we were trying to solve efficiency, but our customers kept telling us over and over again, none of this matters to us. All we want is more sales. They would have run their business off pen and paper as long as more people kept coming in to purchase their products. And we just never listened because all small businesses want more sales. If it was that easy, everyone would be getting more sales. So we thought they were being irrational. So we built the product that we thought they should have instead of listening to them. Eventually what became clear to us is, okay, if they want more sales, let's try to solve this problem. How do most small businesses get found? They get found using reviews. Someone goes to Google and searches for doctor near me, dentist near me, and whoever shows up on the top and has the most reviews is the person that gets the business. So we're like, okay, let's build a reviews platform to help them get more business. I think the big change was actually listening to our customers and then figuring out what to do.
Okay, so now you have the idea, you know what you're building, you've had your failures, and it's a bit of serendipity to get to the point you're at. How do you know you have the right product market fit? So you listen to your customers and also you're telling them what to build. So when do you really realize in your business that this was the idea that you wanted to persist with? Was it money coming in? What were the other signals?
I mean, it's definitely money coming in. For about 4 or 5 years, we kept building product. We had maybe 1 customer, 2 customers, but nothing big. And through that entire journey, the reason we were able to try for so long is our wives were paying the bills. And both my wife and my co-founder's wife paid all of our bills. But at some point, my wife and I just had our first child, and my wife came to me and said, you have to find a way to either pay for the nanny or you become the nanny. And luckily for us, at about that same time, we started making money. But when we started making money, like when you hit product market fit, there's no doubt. Like the money and the customers, it just starts rolling in, the feedback, the positive appreciation that you just know. There will be no second guessing. If you're asking yourself, have I hit product market fit? You probably haven't. Because when it hits, you really know.
Okay, I don't want to talk about TAM, if that was a consideration, but you mentioned founders. And one of the things that most startups here, at least I see fail, is that they don't know where to find the founders. How did you find your founders?
Founders is very, very tricky. I would let it naturally happen instead of trying to force the issue. If today you don't have someone that you already want to start the company with, don't go searching for someone to start the company with. Get started on that journey and that person will come. So we have 3 co-founders at HighLevel today. 2 of us have known each other for 20 years, have worked together in multiple businesses. So we knew that we wanted to build together. The 3rd co-founder who joined us, who really led to that growth, the skyrocketing growth that we had, when he first showed up, he just helped us grow the business. He didn't ask us for equity upfront. He did not ask us for a salary upfront. He just came in, he saw the product that we were building, the mission that we were on, and he helped us grow it. And he helped us grow it for 1 month, he helped us grow it for 1 year. And by the time the 2nd year hit, I was having the conversation with Sean saying, hey, this is crazy. This guy has helped us grow from nothing to multiple millions in ARR. We have to give him equity. And that's how compelling it will be, is when it's the right person and when it's a founder, there needs to be that level of trust. Like our 3rd co-founder helped us without any commitment from us. And we gave him the equity without him asking for it. That's how natural that relationship needs to be.
So what's a good founder mix? So you need a product guy, you need a marketer,
In our case, it was 2 product guys and 1 marketer. But I think having someone that can help you with distribution, whether it's a marketer or a different role, having someone that helps you with distribution, I think is very, very key. And all else can come after. So I think the big lesson that 2nd-time founders already know that 1st-time founders don't. 1st-time founders focus on product. They obsess over the quality of the product that they're building. 2nd-time founders obsess over the distribution of the product before they ever touch the engineering.
So I'll come to distribution, but on your the idea and you found the product market fit, did you focus on TAM at all? All these are all words that get thrown around, especially because you were targeting agencies or small businesses that are really high churn and low margin. So why this?
So the TAM is something that we started to think of later. So as far as the market goes, everyone knows the SMP market is the largest market to build for. But the challenge is, like you said, it is high churn. But a lot of these we did not give too much thought to. We knew that the market opportunity was large enough and we'll figure it out. And I think again, people obsess over a lot of things that they might not have to early on. Like today, a lot of people, there's 3 co-founders in HighLevel, there's 3 arrows in our logo. And people ask us, are the 3 arrows the 3 co-founders and which color is which co-founder? The reality is when the arrows were made, there were no co-founders. It was just made by a person on Fiverr that we decided to repurpose. So I think a lot of these can come later. So similarly, I think before you ever get into TAM, build something functional that you have a small audience for. Because don't build for scale when there's nothing today.
Okay, so let's talk about distribution. You said the second time founder always focuses on the distribution first, right? So how did you go about your GTM?
So for us, all through this journey, all of the different software that we built that failed, we had an opportunity to go raise venture funds, and we could have burnt a lot of money trying to get a sales team, like run an ad, BDR, SDR, inbound sales. We could have run that same playbook. But what we realized is there were companies that had raised significantly more capital than us in each of the industries we were building in. If we were building for home services, there was Jobber, House Call Pro, Service Titan, companies that had raised up to $1 billion. And if the way we're going to acquire customers is by spending money, there were people that could outspend us, both from revenue and from raised capital. So we could have grown to some extent, but we could have never grown large. And so we never pursued that. We always kept searching for, is there a different way to do this, instead of having to burn money to acquire customers? Because none of these industries we're going into are greenfield opportunities. There are existing players in all of them. And so we kept iterating, and eventually we landed on communities, because community-led growth is really where things are going now. Whether it's If you want to buy a laptop, you'll go to YouTube, you'll search for best laptop in 2026. And there's someone telling you, giving you a breakdown of the top 10 laptops and the best buy if you want to be economical, the best premium buy, whatever it is. And they have a link that sends you to the product page to buy it and they get a commission of it. That's how most sales are made today. We just leaned into that model over the sales and ads.
And so, what's the advice for anyone who has a product, they don't know how to sell, and you hit upon the community model? So, is it just really thinking through the problem, or are there any tips or tricks? Because you work with a lot of agencies as well and lots of smaller businesses. What is it that you think is missing? What do they need to focus on?
So one big mantra we have within the company is called sell them what they want, where instead of you having a product and trying to sell it to them, ask them what they want and whatever it is, sell it to them from a product perspective. So this is again back to the distribution, is instead of trying to force your idea on them, because then you're trying to convince them that the problem that they're seeing in their business, you're trying to convince them that they have a problem in their business and your tool is going to solve that problem. Instead, ask them what problem they're having in their business and just solve that problem. So just sell them, and the problem they have might be imaginary. You might not even agree with that problem, but that is the problem that they want solved. So just solve that problem.
So good advice, because a lot of startups actually end up building products they like, not what their customers will like. So you're saying that talk to customers first, even before you start building products.
Yeah. And even if the problem the customer is describing makes no sense, that is the problem they think they have, that is the problem they want solved. So build a product that solves that imaginary problem versus you might think that the problem you're solving is real, but if no one agrees with you, then it's not a real problem.
Okay, so you've identified the product, you understand the GTM. Specifically, you decided to scale up very differently. You have a remote team, you've always been remote. And also you grew from India, or at least a large part of the team is from India, and you're selling to the West. So let's listen to your journey and why did you take those decisions that you did?
So because we didn't raise any money, we had to grow the team organically. We did not start hiring people until we started making money. The first few hires were made after we made money, and we hired off Upwork. Because what if we stopped making money? We didn't want to fire those people. But eventually we decided, we could see that hey, this money is going to stay, so we need to start hiring some permanent people. No one wanted to join a remote company. I would call candidates, and candidates would say, I don't want to join because my parents won't believe that I have a job. Or I'm looking to get married and no one will let me get married to their daughter if I have a remote job. And we actually were about to set up an office at that time. But COVID happened. And once COVID happened and all of the big companies, the TCS, Infosys, Wipro, all of them sent people home, it changed completely for us because people were ready to believe in a remote job. And when all of those companies asked people to come back into office, it became even better because now the best candidates wanted to come work for us. But it is hard building a company remote. You have to put a lot of effort into culture. Like the first year, when we were much smaller, we took 70, 80 people to Bali for an offsite. And then the team wanted to go to Georgia, Japan. And I told the team they were crazy because they want to take 200 people to Japan, and 200 Japanese visas for an Indian passport is a really hard challenge. But the team was keen on going there until the last day, when the flight was supposed to depart. There were 30 or 40 visas that did not get approved. Our team, and this is not events people, this is just engineers, product managers on our team, went, camped outside of the Japanese embassy and got the visa on that last day, and we took the entire team to Japan. And last year we took 900 people in batches of 2 to the Maldives, another 450 to the Bahamas in the US, all different teams. So we put a lot of effort. We do have openings, yes. But that was incredible. And the funny thing was, when we went to the Maldives, we took the entire island, 450 at a time, but there were a few rooms that were booked ahead of time. And we felt really bad for those people because there was going to be 450 people partying on an island, and there were 2 people that were there with families. And luckily or unluckily for us, one of them ended up being a customer. And they were really unhappy. And then we had to comp their room, we had to comp their budgets. We put in a lot of effort to make sure that they were happy. But all of that to say, it takes a lot of effort to keep the culture alive when you're remote, but we put a lot of effort.
So remote is one aspect of it. The other is that let's assume US is one of your big markets, and you're selling into the US and you didn't have a US office. When did you decide to have that office, and were you selling remotely from India? Did that work?
So for us, again, since we don't have a sales team, that wasn't a problem because we could get creators from the US talking to the US market and they were selling on our behalf. When someone shows up on our website, they sign up for a free trial and they get going by themselves. There's lots of coaching courses, all of that we do. But today we have a much larger team, and even to manage all of these influencers and content creators, you need to have kind of like an outside sales team manager. So we do have a lot of that team is here. So they're again based out of both India and the US.
So from your experience, and again for the audience here, what's your advice as to when they should actually move to the US or move to their major market or sell remotely from India? Is that possible, you think? Or, you build communities and you had a different GTM motion. What's the advice for you, for them?
I think it's possible. I think it comes down to who you're selling to. The place where we were lucky is we were building for the SMB market, and small businesses are always incredibly innovative. They're ready to pick up technology when no one else is if it will give them a leg up. They're ready to buy technology purely online without ever talking to a person, try it on. So I think there's a lot of digital first, there's a lot of innovation that exists in small businesses. If you're selling to large enterprises, I think then it completely changes. And you will have to have a local presence. The sales cycles look completely different. So depending on who you're building for, you can do some of this remote. But again, back to the people selling to municipalities and selling to hospitals, those can't happen remotely. You need to have people on the ground.
So talking of ecosystems and culture, you were based out of Bangalore for a while, but mainly built your business in Chennai. How much do ecosystems impact your growth and your success?
I mean, directly or indirectly, I think ecosystems are really important, and I think that is the big role that TiE is playing over here. Like growing up, I saw SaaS companies get built all around me in Chennai. So I saw Zoho get built, I saw Freshworks get built around me. When we were building HighLevel and we were really early, at about 5-10 employees, I remember I went to an event called SaaS Bhumi, which was based in Chennai, where I saw Girish Mathurudam on stage talking about Freshworks. And although he might not have directly mentored me, it definitely gave me a belief that great product can be built from India, can be built from Chennai. So I think all of those definitely add up.
Okay, so let's talk about the SMEs and agencies that you work with. What is it that you think the smaller businesses always get wrong? And maybe from your experience as well, but what are those one or two things that you think they should think differently?
I think a lot of times people again invent their own problems instead of solve the problem for the businesses, and they also try to do too much too often. So we have something called a foot in the door, where find a hero product that you can actually go in and resell. Like, don't stretch yourself too thin when you're too small. Find a small hero product. A good example we have today is an AI that can answer calls for small businesses. This is what we ask all people selling our software to do. Go in and pitch that one service. Don't pitch the full CRM, don't pitch marketing, don't pitch your ad service. Just pitch that one product to get a foot in the door, and then you can build that business over time. I think a lot of times they try to do too much too early. I think reducing that span helps a lot.
Okay, and since you mentioned AI, how do SMBs stay relevant and I'm talking about SMBs at the moment, agencies and services companies, how do they stay relevant? And how should the product companies look at the AI opportunity?
So for product companies, I think you need to be selling AI and you need to be using AI. So you should be using AI to become more efficient as a company. Like one thing that I'm internally floating as an idea is maybe we permanently cap the size of the company at 1,000 people or some number. With the idea that if you need to hire someone, you either have to let someone in their current role go or try to automate the role. And I think there will be a point where the efficiencies from AI are so big that a new company starting today, and we're not worried about bigger competitors, but we're worried about the person that's starting today. There will be new companies and people that are starting today that end up building a much more efficient organization than the one that exists today. So if you're not setting constraints on yourself and becoming more efficient, I think there is a big disruption risk. I think on the flip side, the product you're selling should also be helping your customers get much more efficient using AI. And in our case, if it's digital marketing, everything from building websites, from to running ads, to building forms, all of it should be automated as much as possible. Like we're building products we have an AI receptionist that answers calls, all channels, text messages, it responds on behalf of the business with no human in the loop. We have a receptionist where you can, when you're at events like this, you take a photo of a business card and you just send it on phone, on your like SMS in the US or WhatsApp in India. It will see if that person exists in your CRM, if not, add it in. You can leave a voice note to your executive assistant. You can say, hey, remember to add this note and follow up with this person tomorrow, and the CRM will just do it on your behalf. Or you text them and text the receptionist and say, hey, can you reschedule all of my appointments for the afternoon? It will clear your calendar up, and behind the scenes, it will automatically start talking to those people to reschedule those appointments. So the level of productivity that all businesses want this productivity, they don't know how to get it. So I think you need to become the person that provides this AI productivity to them.
Excellent. Your success is testament to the fact that you listen to customers. There are a lot of really successful businesses here who use your product. So if you haven't already, please do check out HighLevel. It's at gohighlevel.com, is it? So do check that out. We are almost out of time, but in case there are questions from the audience, we can take one or two questions. Go ahead, ma'am. Let me see if we can get you a mic.
I would like to request our members to please be giving the standing ovation, because here we have a very prominent personality जिनका सभी से इंतजार कर रहे थे. So I would like to request our audience to please give him a standing ovation. In between we have Shri Sanjeev Arora, the Cabinet Minister of Industries, Commerce and Investment Promotion, Power and Local Government of Punjab. So he's here a prominent political leader and Cabinet Minister of Industry and Commerce, Government of Punjab. He plays a key role in driving the industrial growth, investment, promotion and infrastructure development with a strong governance, experience in focused, accelerating Punjab economic and contracts of business development. I would like to request everyone, please put your hands together once again for Shri Sanjeev Arora, the Cabinet Minister of Industries, Governance and Investment. Thank you so much, sir, for coming here with your valuable time.
Do we have time for that question, or shall we scoot?
Yes, sir, we would like to request you to please kindly take your 2 more minutes so we can proceed for the last chapter of yours.
Sure. Can we get the mic to the lady, please?
Hi, it's a very basic question because I only just started using HighLevel. So after 1 year on the stage, I'll make use of that time. And for people who are sort of using HighLevel and they're using it at a very basic level because there are so many layers.
Any other questions? The lady at the back. We can take 5 minutes? Okay. Sorry, can we get the mic to her, please?
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. It was really great to hear both of you, first of all. And specifically to you, Varun, when you started your journey, whatever things you have explained here, it sounded like you are trying to be more customer-centric as well as employee-centric company. We are the toddler right now. I'm a founder, so we are a toddler here right now. We are just 4-year-old. So how do you manage both the things in between?
Alright. I think the question is, how do you be both customer-centric and employee-centric?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, this is a little bit of a chicken and egg problem, but you have to do both. You can't do one or the other, because if you don't take care of your team, they won't take care of your customers. If you don't take care of your customers, there won't be a team to take care of. So it is a little bit of a chicken and egg, but I think trust goes a long way. Every person we have on the team, from the first person we hired, the second person we hired, everyone is here today, which is a large part of our strength. And they're all here because there's high ownership given, and there's a lot of expectations as well. So people do have to stretch at times, but when they do stretch, I'll go find a way to get them off. I'll be like, hey, it looks like you've been stretching for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks now. Can we cycle someone else in so they can take over your responsibility so we don't say, you take it easy, we'll take care of the customers. And at the same time, we don't tell our customers that, hey, we need to give our team members a rest. So we know that your business has some big problems, but we can't help. So I think it is a balance. And sometimes you'll have some team members stretch, and sometimes you'll have to have some customers wait. But a lot of times you need to jump in and be the arbitrator of which side gets to go where.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Varun. Congratulations on the journey and all the success.
I would like to request our panelists to please stay here, and to do the felicitation, I would like to request Mr. Ravi Sharma to please kindly come up on the stage. Well, I request our lovely audience to please put your hands together. Once again, everyone, please put your hands together. Thank you so much for moderating it so well. Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you all